Nerderotic.com.
It's good news, ladies and gentlemen, when Hollywood doesn't make a movie these days, especially when it's based on a Jack Kirby comic book. This would have been a complete fucking disaster. And Ava DuVernay or DuVernay or
Ava DuVernay.
Ava DuVernay
is going to have to listen what this 50-something-year-old white dude, what he thinks about, fucking comic books and your stupid movie.
It's not made for you. Okay.
And the bonus, oh, what the fuck? That's not it. The bonus.
This wasn't porn.
Not
Whoa.
Not only did Ava DuVernay get fired, Tom King got fired too.
Yeah, that's even better almost because Tom King is an ass.
Tom King is a terrible choice to do this movie in the first place. Like, Tom King is a dude who turned Batman into a cuck. People praise his fucking Mr. Miracle run. That was a boring, drawn-out run where he also made Mr. Miracle a fucking cuck. And I cannot be happier that this shit has gotten canceled.
The Snyder Cut might have had something to do with this. I hate to go to a Collider article, but they did bring up, did the Snyder Cut destroy the New Gods? Yeah, because Zack
totally did
put up a fucking real fucking dark side, and Ray Porter played it to perfection.
If you're going to do a New Gods movie, which this has been stuck in production hell since 2018, like a lot of other fucking Warner Brothers properties, honestly, after seeing this, after seeing Darkseid, after seeing Steppenwolf fleshed out, after seeing Desaad and Granny Goodness, if you were to do a New Gods story that's not in continuity with that, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Especially when you've given people the taste of what it could be.
Yeah, I think it's great news. And maybe this is why Warner Brothers initially was, all about cutting Darkseid out, because he was the first live action representation of him. And yeah, that's what's going to stick in people's minds, especially if it's a good representation, not like a fucking Cloud of Galactus. So now,
God, that was trash.
And now, Warner Brothers has a very good problem on their hand that they will completely fuck up. The Snyder Cut was popular, and I know some people liked it. I am fully aware of Mueller's video. Mueller and I have spoken, and we're still friends. It's so weird how that works. The terror of the deep and the fire of apocalypse won't be felt anytime soon unless, of course, you watch the Snyder Cut. As a part of our DC slate, some legacy development titles, including New Gods and The Trench, which I honestly never heard of, will not be moving forward. Warner Brothers and DC said in a statement, "We thank our partners, Ava DuVernay, Tom King, James Wan, and Peter Safran for their time and collaboration during this process and look forward to our continued partnership with them on other DC projects." Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
No.
That is horrible.
Ava DuVernay is doing Naomi for CW, which that's quite frankly where she fucking belongs.
That's
over on
an upgrade. That's an upgrade.
The projects will remain in their skillful hands if they were to move forward in the future, which means they will never ever see the light of it.
I don't understand why. I saw this. I thought about covering it just because that woman has heinously bad opinions. Marvel's doing it too now, and DC is wasting all this time too. Like, until DC pulls their head out of their ass and gives me a Superman movie, like, why aren't I watching an awesome Superman movie? They just refuse to make it, and they're. Well, of course, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't give a shit anything about DC. You have iconic heroes, and you're like, hey, let's make this film with no people that no normal person outside of hardcore comic book fans know. It's like, what do people think that the Marvels, the Eternals are going to do in the theater? If we had real box offices, this would be the biggest flop Marvel ever had. Like, nobody's going to go see that movie.
You're absolutely right. I would consider myself, and a lot of people on this panel, hardcore comic book fans. Does anybody want to see The Trench?
Never heard. No, I think that's cover. I think it's because they're canceling the other movie. They're just, we're also canceling this too. So
it's
don't criticize
Ava
this.
DuVernay. Yeah.
Well, supposedly it was some kind of side fucking Aquaman thing.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
yeah.
Like you even saw some of that in Aquaman, some of the Trench, and I think that was a run from Johns. Honestly, I think it was a Jeff Johns creation. Yeah, it was when Aquaman made $1 billion, and like, we're gonna have Aquaman 2 and a spinoff.
I'm still shocked. I bet you that even if the box office was the same, an Aquaman 2 sequel will do like 650 million, 750 million.
Right. Depends on how many times he takes his shirt off, Jeremy.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's in the contract, so it's going to be a lot.
Depends on how many lonely women are fucking flicking their bean in the movie.
Love that fucking movie, Ryan, and you know it.
Here's a tweet from Ava in 2020. That's the type of mentality she was bringing.
I'll read it. Everyone has a right to their opinion, and we, black producers, I remember roasting her on this, with hiring power, have the right to not hire those that would diminish us. So she's a black supremacist.
Yep.
So to the white men in this thread, if you don't get a job you were up for, kindly remember, bias can go both ways.
How about it doesn't go anywhere?
That is blatantly racist on every level.
It's
not even debatable.
And this was in November 2020. Thank you for holding space for this resistance, for this power, for this voice, for demonstrating who we are, that we can proclaim what we want, that we can exercise rights that are given to us and rights that we take that are not given to us, that we can declare what we want. This moment is not an end-all, be-all. This vote, this election is not even half of the work that is ahead of us and what needs to happen tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But it is a tool, it is a weapon in our arsenal, and we are going to fight. We are in a war. This is Ava DuVernay at a Black Lives Matter event.
Just to clarify, these things are okay, but not liking The Last Jedi. That's the hate.
That's a dog whistle.
That just makes you a Nazi.
Yeah, that's a dog whistle.
Well, this looks like quarantine Taika Waititi over here.
It's gonna ruin your mythos in a minute, baby.
This was
nice. Like a bitch.
This was Zack Snyder put this out like an hour after the news about New Gods being canceled. He just puts out Granny. Oh my goodness! Thank you, JoJo, for the design. And this is Granny Goodness that we saw in very, very briefly in Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end there, when Darkseid is telling everyone to ready the armadas.
I liked Justice League. I enjoyed it. I hated it the first time I watched it, and then I watched it again, just kind of understanding that I hate this universe and hate these characters. But let me just watch the movie for what it is, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And I don't want to see more from this universe personally moving forward. But when you look at the fan movement involved and the fact that so many people enjoy it, and we're not arguing over identity politics, you're actually just arguing over if the character is good or bad based on the way you view how the character should be perceived. That's what we always have argued over. That's what we've always argued over when it comes to these types of movies, and that's a good thing. That's a good place to be in. Well, I don't think Warner Brothers will move forward with it, but whether you like the movie or dislike it or this universe, which I hate this universe, it's still a good thing for the fan movement, considering where Hollywood is, the cesspool of identity politics and bullshit wokeness. That's how I view it.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And if you did this with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.